Yazol.
Hello and welcome to another episode from the hot kitchen of Yazol Podcast. We are the three amigos, your story chefs on duty, cooking you some of the hottest stories from out there. Gisat Sukun. And now, straight out of Vancouver, Canada, the big man, Zol Kebir on the wheels of steel. Please welcome DJ Bakumba.
Yeah, DJ Bakumba in the house. You guys, welcome. Share, subscribe, listen, like, comment. Yeah, and let's enjoy.
All right. Yeah, and from Edmonton, his friends call him Le Japonais, music teacher and master guitarist. Please welcome Dennis Lissa.
Yeah.
Thank you all. Yeah.
Yeah, and I am your chef on the grill, Dedi Seyi, Sultan of Small London, Zol Kebir Musuran Sele. So welcome. Coming up today on Yazol Podcast, the highlights from South Sudan. South Sudanese children struck by lightning in Uganda refugee camp. Japan donates garbage trucks to the city of Juba. Ameridi School wins National Science Fair. The Bright Stars beat Kenya's Harambee Stars in Juba for a qualifying match in the African Nations Championship. The president of the South Sudan Football Federation says they are facing financial troubles. And from the African continent, Botswana's ruling party bundled out after 50 years in power. A Kenyan student causes drama after putting Viagra in the teacher's tea. Uganda's parliament honors a dedicated traffic police officer. A Nigerian man tattoos his name on his girlfriend's face. A Zimbabwean woman jailed for stealing offertory money from a church. From the international scene, a 5-year-old in America claims to be a dead woman named Pamela. So all those stories coming up on Yazol Podcast, Sot Sukun.
Yazol.
Today, our African proverb of the week comes from the Bukusu community of Western Kenya. And it says, no matter how truthful and honest a man is, he can never advise his mother-in-law to sit properly. It my Dennis?
No. Yeah.
Mother-in-law can mageni kweso koradi geni bet. Yeah, you can't go there.
You can't go. That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah. You better not. Or you dare not.
Yeah. It out of gisat ta zol alfa andaya o mageni kweze.
No.
Yeah. So there's a guy who was in an andaya somewhere. Libisuridi guser kida. So o mageni kwes. Korato wahid fi malakal wahid fi wow. Oh yeah. Si de andaya regal yajek mushkila shunu mageni kwes. So but she didn't say that. She was trying to be political, right? So Gali brother, you need to park your car properly. Girl, what? I don't have a car. Marade kamanjeribu. Gagal, close your door. The door to your house. Lisa, what do you mean? You don't even know where I live. What do you mean I close my door?
Marisa dakalo feras kama.
Marisa dakalo feras. Marade gal nal dinak. Kada go fulu korazol. Kurata kide azol. Again is ambalasaki dage. The man, he was a little bit embarrassed. So he fixed himself up. Then he summoned a little courage. Yoga Lasma, did you see the big truck parked in my garage?
Just beat back.
Yeah, I didn't see any big truck. I just saw a little bicycle with a missing wheel. Yeah. Yeah, let's go to our first story, and this is sad from Uganda. We have a heartbreaking story. Earlier today, a few hours ago, scores of South Sudanese refugee children aged between 18 and below died in Palabek refugee settlement camp in Lamwo district of northern Uganda after being struck by lightning. So information reaching us here at Yazol states that 48 children were part of the group that were out rehearsing some Christian hymns in the camp when the lightning incident occurred in the Zone 8 area. 14 of the children unfortunately died and the rest were taken to hospital with 7 in critical condition. Our condolences go out to the family, the bereaved families, and we wish those in hospital a quick recovery. Quite a difficult story, Dennis, right?
Yeah, it is. My deepest condolences to the family of those children. It is really very sad, and lightning is not something that we can control. It is a nature. Once you are in that zone, there is nothing much can be done. أنا مذكر قبل فترة أنا زمان جاي من جوبا.
Yeah.
So people believe that if you have your cell phone on, you will be struck by lightning. So أنا زمان كنا جايين بعربية ده. So واحد من الناس اللي معنا في العربية ده tried to open his cell phone, and ناس كل في العربية they were kind of please make sure you close your cell phone. So
they can motor ينزلوا
mother كان قاعد ينزل وبعدين we were in the car driving from to Juba. Yeah, so nature is nature. There is nothing much we can do about it. So we just pass our condolence to the family, and I hope may God console them. And it is just very sad to see those young lives being lost to lightning.
Yeah, and that area Bakumba is prone to lightning, right? The Magwi and that Nimule area, Lamuo, is just next door in Uganda.
Yeah. I don't know what is that. I don't know why that area is kind of to be a lightning zone. Yeah, I just hope that maybe one day somebody can do a case study. Maybe if somebody can find it so that we can actually have a clear picture of because some of these things, they're based on superstition and all this kind of thing, but in reality, it's just nature. It has nothing to do with the ancestors getting mad at anybody or God getting mad at anything. It's just natural phenomenon that happens, and the only way to understand and to make people aware is just to do a proper study of that area, whether what is happening there actually that is causing all that. So we just urge our people that is totally natural. As Dennis said, it's nothing. The ancestors are not angry. So we condole with the family. Yeah.
Let's go to another story from Juba. The Japanese government has officially handed over 21 garbage trucks to the city council in Juba towards efforts to address the burden of solid waste management and maintaining cleanliness in the city. The donation includes 15 compactors, 4 lorries, and 2 empty container carriers. Japanese ambassador to South Sudan, Toshio Odagiri, emphasized that the donation reflects his country's commitment to support South Sudan's environmental efforts. He encouraged the Juba City Council to maximize the benefits of the donated vehicles. The deputy governor of Central Equatoria State, Honorable Paulino Lokudo Obede, commended the good gesture from Japan and asked the ambassador to facilitate a benchmarking visit to Tokyo for Juba City Council officials to learn about advanced city management. The deputy governor also directed Juba City County Commissioner, which is Emmanuel Tete Esbon, to allocate a plot for a future Japanese cultural center, reflecting the state's commitment to deepening ties with Tokyo. I remember in Yei we had one of the leaders, Ali Luaya. He actually sorted out problem garbage and streets in Yei from the 80s, and he's known for that, for putting strict measures. If you don't clean up, if you don't have a toilet, if you don't have many of those things, fine. And it dealt, literally you could not find garbage on the streets even. Yeah. But it seems the burden of garbage and water and all that in Juba is just too big. The city council is having issues, right? Dennis, what's your thought?
Yeah, I don't know what prompted Japanese embassy to donate. Did they see a lot of garbage being thrown around? They are not happy with that, and then they just decide to do kind of a voluntary kind of work.
If you live in Juba, you can't avoid it, honestly. Right?
Juba,
I'm not sure what prompted them to do that, but all in all, it is a good initiative from their side to help us with the waste management. And for me, I see that it should be a kind of a comprehensive kind of a plan, because to have waste management in one sector and the other sector is not being managed properly, or it needs to be an integrated kind of a plan. Because as we discussed in our last episode, there is the issue of stagnant water. There is no sewage, proper kind of a sewage in Juba City. So all these things should kind of being integrated in a way that even if we find any donation, it can just be in kind of a plan that we have.
Yeah.
But to just have trucks and the other sector of the economy is not properly managed, it will just be a waste for us. So I'm encouraging our government officials to take advantage of that and to come up with a comprehensive plan to make sure that waste management is done in a way that people benefit from it, not in one sector of the economy and the other sector is being neglected.
Another thing that they can look at, just like some of those things can be privatized. The government doesn't have to do everything. Like in so many countries, cities around the world, you need to outsource some of those activities. Garbage collection, you can privatize it, and the government can just be a monitoring agency. Water can be privatized. Not everything is supplied by the government. But it seems like in South Sudan, the government is everything. But you need to learn that the private sector can actually supplement what the government does. So privatize some of these things, and
Let's go to our second story from South Sudan. So the second annual science competition organized by STEM Power South Sudan on Friday concluded with Meridi STEM Center from Western Equatoria winning the project of the year. The science fair aims to showcase talent, creativity, innovation of students from 5 STEM centers scattered across the country. The competition brought students from Yei STEM Center, Girinti Science and Technology from WOW, Maber STEM Center from Awil, Kapoita STEM Center, and Meridi STEM Center. The projects presented focus on addressing issues of information technology, education, health and nutrition, agriculture, and climate change. All the projects were evaluated by a panel of judges. After presentation, Meridi STEM Center emerged as the winner of the project, and they were focusing on making fertilizers to fight hunger and promote food production in South Sudan. Dennis, what's your thought on this story?
I think that's a good initiative. The thing is that we have talented people. We have people with potential that they can come up with a lot of invention that can benefit the whole country. But it is providing that ground for them, like a kind of a platform for them to showcase their creativity. I am not of the idea of having a lot of university. I am of the idea of having a lot of technical schools, because those technical schools, they are the one feeding the economy. They are the one that come up with a lot of invention. They are the one that can solve a lot of a problem that we have, versus people just graduate from the university and they are looking for employment, but there is no a technical knowledge that they can use to help us to grow our economy.
The world is moving out of theoretical kind of studying to practical studies. So a lot of people are moving from that ideas of name parts of the grasshopper, head, thorax, abdomen, those kind of nonsense.
Who discovered the source of the Nile?
Who discovered the source of the Nile? Who are the who discovered whatever, like those nonsensical things, Who I don't know who is what. Samuel Baker, Muhammad Ali Pasha, all these kind of things, They don't move
Bakumba, you forget Samuel Baker was your first governor, right?
Samuel Baker. So those are good for you can read those things just to relax your mind. It's a story, but they don't move anybody. They don't move the economy. They don't do nothing. So it's competition. So competition like these practical things. That is where the world is headed to. I think the reason Kenya is, for example, our neighbors Kenya are trying to implement what do they call a CBC, which is comprehensive based something. I don't know exactly, but they're geared towards everything to be practical. Like people actually are prepared early for practical things that they can actually tangible things that you can do instead of studying the story of Moses and Abraham. He left Euphrates and go here. Those things don't take us anywhere.
It's just cramming
it's just cramming, memorizing things, and you think you get an A, you think you're smart. They don't take you nowhere. So with wonderful things like those, I like to hear stories like those. I remember even in high school, you remember Dedi, when you're in Kenya, you have those massive science congress. Usually they stage all over national competition. It brings a lot of ideas, even though some schools don't have labs, but you can still come up with something. So big up to STEM. STEM what is STEM? But is it a group of schools or what is STEM? What are STEM centers?
So STEM Power South Sudan is an organization.
Oh,
And
okay.
so they
Okay.
they set up centers around South Sudan
Okay. Okay.
to encourage science, technology, those subjects.
Okay.
So
Okay.
I think they're affiliated with the schools in
All
the
right.
school
Right.
system.
Right.
So yeah.
Yazol.
But my question is, like, because I know there's one professor in Congo who teaches actually physics and all the theories and everything to do with it in Lingala. Could those subjects be taught in our local languages to make it easy so that people are just, you don't have to really go to school. You can even teach them in the resource center. Somebody who is interested in something, you just teach them in the local language.
Yeah, like what you did. Like right now, it's well known that English is not a measure of intelligence. English is just a language. It's just like Akwa, Acholi, Dink, and Nuer. It's just a language. It doesn't. Somebody who you can speak the most perfect English, but doesn't mean you're intelligent at all. It's not a measure of intelligence. The Chinese, how many Chinese can speak English? How many products we consume for coming out of China? You don't need English to be educated. Education is learning something, and we can teach people. If we go to Boru, teach them in Dinka even physics. That's fine. Yeah, because you're always all about the practical part and understanding of the theoretical part, whether the calculation mathematics can be done even in my mother tongue without any problem.
So
that's something that we need to look at.
For me, I don't see the language as an issue. The issue is the practicality of the knowledge that we learn, and then how we can make the knowledge that we learn kind of reflective of our environment. Because what happens is a lot of knowledge that we get are foreign to us. I remember when I was in the middle school, I spent a whole year learning about North America. Something that is foreign to me, something that I didn't know a lot about it. And there are things that are within my environment that I don't know about, So how we can make the knowledge that we learn to be more reflective of our environment. So that's how people develop, because if you spend a lot of time learning about things that is within your proximity, you kind of come up with the invention. But if you're learning about something that you don't understand, something that is foreign to you, that knowledge is of no use to you.
I remember they used to teach us lumbering in British Columbia and wheat farming
and the prairies. Right?
Like, who cares about we learn about the prairies. Like what kind? Like what? How many of us are going to come to the prairies instead of teaching us about the equatorial forest and the savanna grassland in Eastern Equatoria? All about it. We don't even know. I even have no idea that we have national parks. Boma National Park. We have one of the biggest animal migration. Nobody teaches those kind of things.
It's fascinating. But really, the legacy of the colonial education system is what you see, because that education system wasn't set up for us as Africans, and then we got our independence and just carried on.
We carried on
without asking ourselves questions. How is this education even benefiting to us? Because I did primary school.
Maybe those books were meant for the white kids so that they don't get lost when they're in Africa.
Some of the books in the 90s they were using in Uganda were from the 60s, and they still had everything that was colonial in them. And then we go to school, we really are eager to learn, but you're being taught all these, what we technically say, crap.
Outdated.
Garbage.
It's so garbage in, garbage out. So but also
big up to STEM. Let them continue doing that good job. And to the government, of course. Education is still a government project. We need labs in the school. We need to be able to introduce laboratories, practical workshops in the school, stuff like that.
As long as you don't eat the experiment specimens like us.
I remember there was one guy who ate who we had biology practical, those food testing and stuff, and then there was a specimen. The guy look at it. The guy actually is my friend. He's here in the US. You look at it, you look at it, he tested it. He went around, he said, Yakwana, it's yogurt.
Yeah. We used to, they would give out, because you have to draw the orange.
Yeah.
Right? And they give you like half orange to draw and whatever for the spores or whatever they call them those days. We would eat the specimen first before you draw, because you draw from here.
You already memorized the picture already.
Yeah. You know the filament is going to go there or whatever, right? So okay. Yeah, let's go to a sports story from South Sudan. The Bright Stars beat Kenya's Harambee Stars in Juba 2-0 in the opening round of the qualifiers for the 2025 African Nations Championships last Sunday. Esbon Malis, who plays for Jamus FC, opened scoring in the 50th minute. Then Johanna completed the double in the 68th minute. Kenya already qualified because they're hosting with Uganda and Tanzania. But South Sudan crucially needs those points. So the second leg will be played tomorrow in Kampala, which is Sunday. And the Bright Stars only need a draw to book a slot in the second round, which they'll play either against Djibouti or Rwanda. Last time we were talking about the issues affecting the South Sudanese football. This past week also, the president of the South Sudan Football Federation, Bakumba, came out and said they are facing financial problems. Basically echoing whatever you were talking about last time, right?
Yeah.
Do you think the Bright Stars really faced a strong Kenyan team? Because I think Olunga and those guys were not there. This seems to be a B kind of a team, or am I wrong?
Yes, this tournament is different from the Nations Cup tournament. You know that, right?
Yes.
Yeah, this is a different champion. So this tournament is basically they're trying to promote local talent. So you cannot have a foreign-based player in your national team to participate in this tournament. So it's actually they're looking for the local people who are based locally on the local league. So probably that's why Kenya cannot get anybody international. Like if you're playing outside the country, you're not eligible basically. Yeah, that's the criteria. CAF has put those kind of rules just to develop local leagues basically. So if a South Sudanese is playing somewhere in Europe or wherever, you are not eligible to play in that tournament because of that. So, but still, big up to the Bright Side. At least they make the nation smile for the first time. We've been like losing spree non-stop. We were sleepless nights. You know, we became like those crazy Manchester United players. You know, South Sudan was giving us headache every day.
You know, the Juba Stadium was technically open. So somebody was saying, "Girl, we don't come to the stadium, you win. When we are there, you don't win."
Yeah.
So I said maybe some of those people who walk around like they have juju on themselves, the comedians. Maybe they are the cause. Bringing bad luck.
Yeah, they bring bad luck to the team. Yeah, yes. but the financial situation of the federation is real. The president lamented the fact that there have been pledges from the government. There have been approval of money, and you know in Sudan things can get approved, but you'll never see a dollar. So they're still waiting. The 2.5 million on paper, but there's no fund. So there's no tangible fund. But I think for me the future of all the sport is usually private sector actually. When business started to do, when the nation grows and we have a big middle class and businesses start chipping in because business needs visibility, so they're going to chip in obviously for those sports. That's how sports grow around the world. The government has a small piece, but the private sector has a bigger piece when it comes to that kind of sports. Yeah.
So instead of putting a coat of arms on the front of the jersey, maybe they should put like MTN or something.
Exactly. Yeah. MTN, those betting companies, you know. Yeah.
I'm not a sport person, but I see that it is one of the big sector of the economy. Like if it is invested in it properly. We have seen like here in Edmonton how Edmonton Oilers bring a lot of money. So those are all private sector initiatives. Like they put a lot of investment and they kind of give a boost to the economy, the local economy. from the advertisement, from the money that they generate. So if we are lacking fund, it should be something that the government should look into way that how they can get private sector in. They don't have to shoulder all the costs on their own. Yeah.
Maybe Bakumba, we should get our friend to help out. He's the boss at Digital, right? It's a South Sudanese company. They should chip in.
Chip in and put their logo on all the national jersey. No problem.
You know, like the glow for the Nigerian team. That's all we used to see. You see the Super Eagles of Nigeria. You see Glow, and proudly Nigerian. Glow is a local Nigerian company.
That's right.
Companies like Digital should be at the forefront, Don't leave it for the foreign companies.
That's right. Yeah.
All right. Now you're getting into dangerous territory. If you don't behave, Sot, Jelda. Alela, someone for sure is getting Jelda, because last week I said we'll see how long the peace will last. Well, sorry, peace is gone. Jelda is back. And Bakumba is going to Jelda this one Abuna, who was caught in a video trying to handle spiritual matters physically.
This video make me piss off, because the fact that this is Dollar Motoran, Abuna Tamam, he has won the scholar and everything. He has a disagreement with his congregation, whatever that disagreement is. He became too spiritual physically. So he started. So he started pushing his congregation non-stop, physically getting agitated and almost becoming like a boxer in a boxing ring or in martial arts or whatever. So Abuna Zede, these are the people that bring nonsense things like this in church. Or if you cannot handle this job, just leave. Try, go look after cows or something, but leave the sheep, the children of God alone. So Abuna de as Jelda, so that collar need to be removed even. They need to be dethroned. That the mom because it's a danger to the congregant. So only Jelda or Turuju Barzad min Kenisa. Kalampari.
And now, when you hear that song, you know what time it is. It's time for Beyond the Beats with Dennis Lissa, our resident music expert and teacher. Today, Dennis will do a deep dive into the challenges facing music given the advent of technology, especially AI. Given AI, soon there might be an Afrobeat song out there where a self-driving car dumps its owner for another driver, causing a major heartbreak, or let me say car break.
Yeah, so the issue of AI is not only in other arena, it is also like in music also. Like AI now is being utilized by a lot of musicians. And some of the songs that you might have heard, you think that it is a musician singing it, but it is not. It is just an AI singing the song. So what is an AI? An AI is how we train a computer to match human ability or to exceed human ability to do music. That is in terms of the music kind of context. And this has affected music industry in a lot of ways, in a way that music is being produced and how music is being consumed. Going back to how the music is being produced, like before, you can see like to produce music, you need a lot of musicians, expert musician, and you pay them and you do a lot of music sessions in order to come up with a record. But those in this time now, you don't need those musicians. You just need one person to do music, to produce music, which is the producer. Like they have a controller, but they can bring whatever sound that is in their mind. So they're using those virtual instruments to trigger sound that they want to produce. So this has affected music a lot in terms of the way that music is being produced, and it's also kind of a kill music business for people who are musicians. So that is one thing. Like Nigerians are using it like in producing a lot of Afro beats.
Okay.
And it has made music easy now to produce. Like right now, most of my music I produce at home. Okay. I just tell VST that I'm using, like I like this song, but I want you to match this, like the song that I'm creating. I want you to match it to this song, and it will match it for you. And it is the easiest way that you can create music. But the downside to it is that music now is becoming more like generic. There is no emotion into it, you know. And then sometimes the funny thing is like you can have your sample, somebody else is playing it in other music.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And what about the legality of it? Because you know, if I say like VST, right?
VST,
a sound that is a Davido beat, like a Davido beat.
Yeah.
Right. So who in the end owns it? Is it me who told the AI to produce it, or is the AI company that owns the right to that song?
You know, those are the things that is still on the table. But music industry is going to work on it, like to come up with the way that how different musicians can be paid. Yeah. You know, like now they're saying that, like for example, they can call on a sound of a musician. Like you can tell a AI that I want my music with the sound of Davido.
Yeah.
So now Davido want to be paid because you are using his sound for your music. So you need to pay him royalty. Those are the things that kind of the contract that people are working on. The other thing that people are wondering about is like because now people who are making money in music are people who are producing those VST and people who have the platform like the Spotify. Now people in the Spotify can come up with the music with the AI and say this is this musician. How would you know that this music has been produced by AI? And then they cash all the money.
Take it from one hand, give it to the other hand.
Yes.
Person, right?
But I think with time, people are going to learn, because now like music that are being produced by AI are it is hard to recognize. Like if I play you a music now with AI, like you listen to it, you will think that it is a real music and you can dance to it if you don't have that ear to recognize it. So those are things that people are still working around its legality, and it is something that is up in the air. But for sure, music industry is going to change.
Let's go to our first African story, and this is from Botswana. There's a new elected president from the opposition, Mr. Duma Boko. Of course, he kicked out the incumbent president, Mogwetsi Masisi. And Masisi acknowledged the people's choice, and so he bowed and acknowledged Mr. Boko taking over after 50 years of this one party, ruling party in Botswana. Mr. Boko, of course, gave a resounding acceptance speech, given the landslide. But like for me, the biggest thing is like whatever happens in Botswana seems to have happened across the border also in South Africa, right? If you guys remember, the ANC almost got kicked out, and they basically had to cohabit with the DA, which is in the opposition, so that they can remain in power. But of course, if that ever happened in the rest of the African countries, you will hear news like high tension, clashes about vote rigging, Supreme Court, Bakumba. This is a good example, right, for the continent?
Oh yeah. This is a perfect example for the continent. And Botswana has always been one of the pride of Africa, actually. In terms of the democracy, economy. And there's a lot of things coming out of that country that make us Africans very proud of it. And the Africa, if you look across most of the African countries, there's a wave of change. Especially, people are getting more aware. Information is out there. people are able to check on the governments nowadays with the technology. Citizens can audit the government. So it's very hard for the politicians to lie that much anymore. That's why I never believe that that the ruling party who has been there for over 50 years must be defeated. And even the winner himself was shocked himself. He doesn't. I don't think he ever expected that he was going to win. So it was a resounding victory, and transition of power was done nicely. And there was even no ceremony for swearing in. He was sworn in. As it yesterday or today, I just saw only a couple of people and the judge standing. He didn't want this fanfare where the entire Africa is supposed to be invited in Gaborone to come and attend inauguration. No, he just went for the simplest thing: bring a judge, lift up the Bible, and the nation moves on. So congratulations to people of Botswana. Keep doing the good thing. Another good example. Botswana, they have a lot of money. They send the students outside. They send students across the world in scholarship paid for by the government. They know every Botswanan who live where. So it's a great story from that country. So we hope that other African countries can learn from that.
Botswana has been in a good book for a very long time. They kind of gave people a good model. Like they have a good economy, their system of governance, and then their corruption index is kind of very, very low. And then the country is just a peaceful country. Like if you go to Botswana, like you can have a good life. Like a lot of African Americans now are encouraged to go to Botswana to kind of to live there.
Yeah.
And I think again it's a good thing to hear that there is a peaceful transformation of power. And this is the thing that we have to learn. If you're defeated, like the incumbent president, if you're defeated in an election, you should have a kind of a acceptance, kind of in a good way that I lost to the other party, and then let the other people rule.
Let's go to Kenya, where there was drama at Murumbe Secondary School in Embu. Form 1 student, Form 1 is grade 9 if you're North America. So this Form 1 student drugged the teachers. She put a sex enhancement drug, Sildenafil, popularly known as Viagra, in the teacher's tea. Jennifer Ndwiga is said to have added the libido-enhancing drugs into the teacher's tea as a form of revenge because she was punished. That was last Tuesday. Jennifer is said to have been punished after she was caught making noise in class. And then she was told to take the tea to the staff room, and so she took the opportunity to retaliate. Then, of course, after doing that, she sneaked out of the school, and then, of course, chaos broke out. Why do you think this girl took the Viagra to the school, though? Because she must have had access to the Viagra in the first place.
Yeah, that's a good question, but we don't know. We don't know the answer. Maybe she planned to, whatever the reason was. Or she already premeditated to punish those teachers one day. Maybe, who knows, right? Maybe she was looking for the opportunity to just hit back. So that's the cool wakifine staff room mashake.
They jariba jahis.
It means that the male teachers were the majority there, but the person who punished is the male teacher because that drug only affects mostly men, I believe. Right? I don't think there's any much effect on the women. I'm not so sure.
Well, I don't know. Maybe the women out there can let us know. Just
because
throw some comments and let us know. Yeah,
I'm not sure what the effect on the women is, but definitely we know the effect on the men. So that's cool. That's good to do here. I don't know. The female teachers they didn't take off and run away. Mama Kerima, that we start.
Yeah, because everybody becomes dangerous. You'll become a goat in a lion's den. You don't want to be there.
Yeah. So,
Dennis.
Yeah, for me, this story doesn't make any sense to me. The first thing is like giving Viagra to the teacher.
Yeah.
Like, how is it a punishment? To embarrass him, that is, or like I see there is a lot of missing pieces to this story. Maybe something we are not aware of.
No, actually, no. The reality is like if you take Viagra, you'll be in for it. Can Mafi teriga ta peace. Let me call signing of peace.
Can Mafi
sign peace?
Yeah.
Okay. This is the question. Where did she get an access to have, and how is she aware of that kind of Viagra? How does she know?
No. Because by high school, most teenagers know Ayadel.
Okay.
And then the other information I'll add is schools open, because this is a boarding school. So schools opened like about 3 weeks or 2 weeks before this incident. So I think they were home, and this is a Form 1 student, fresh.
Fresh.
In Kenya, they call them mono. So it's always the Form 2s, the second years, who are crazy. But I'm surprised that a mono actually did that.
So binada masha fi Saidaria or masha ishtara dawa?
Yeah, she had access to the drug. Whether she had it or somebody else had it.
Maybe
she knows about the drug.
Yeah,
maybe from the family.
Okay.
Maybe from the family or from friends. Who knows?
So I feel like there is a lot of missing piece to the story, but I feel bad for the teacher for having this hard time.
Attention. The teacher go give attention.
Having a hard time.
So how was the punishment? How was the student punished?
No, she took off. She disappeared. And
She
so
disappeared.
it's a police case, because they basically called in after she did that. There was already chaos in the office because everybody salute. Now they are wondering what's going on. So then the principal decides to call the medical people like ambulance and stuff to deal, and so they tested the teacher's blood. That's when they figured out they consume this Viagra. But by the time they are trying to find Munia Kanji Bushai stuff from Mini, the student is gone. Ligonas Kalas Walai, So and I don't think it's been a couple of days, so I don't know how the story will end. We'll try to find out. So that's our funny story from Kenya. Okay, let's go to Uganda now, where the parliament has honored a traffic police officer who was seen in a heavy downpour in Kampala directing traffic. Of course, when the video of the traffic officer went viral, the parliament in Uganda, the speaker of the parliament, directed that the officer be transferred to work in parliament so that he can rest. Shokol Mafi, you just relax and have a good time. You don't have to be in the rain, But the officer Abdallah Tumusime has received a scholarship to go back to school for education, and then his children also got scholarships to be educated up to the university level. So in the end, it seems good news for this one traffic officer. Was that a good gesture in your opinion, Dennis?
I think that's a good gesture to honor people who do kind of exceptional kind of duty. I think it is good to have that kind of a public recognition on the part of the government. Those people who work as a traffic police, they have that way of building that kind of a connection. I remember 5 years ago, a traffic police officer was honored, Abdullah Arabia, the Achaya Will.
Yes.
Abdullah Arabia. And he had a good connection with people, like and trying to kind of regulate the traffic and then help people to get their work on time. So those are good kind of a recognition, like people who do kind of an exceptional kind of a duty. They deserve to be acknowledged publicly, and then they give kind of a good example to other people. And this tells us of one thing, that whatever you do, regardless of what kind of a work that you do, you need to put your mind to it and then do it with all sincerity. And you never know how you will get rewarded for it. So big thumb up لزول وان شاء الله باكومبا ما يجلدوا دورس حركه يا ما تجي
الكانشيلو حاجه شاي ما بيليجو جلده ولا كيف يا باكومبا
يا في ترافيك بوليس انا شفتهم كان قاعد اكسشينج ماني جايبينهم في الصوره في زول صوروا زمان
اوكي
kind of a leak photos
yeah
if you have seen something like that
I saw that. I actually saw that video too. It was quite a viral. The rain was really pouring, and the officer was not wasn't minding his job, and it was definitely perfectly good example that he actually do his job as other officers. I don't think any other person, these guys, even the police here, if it's raining, I think you are driving safe, but the moment the sun is out, they're always out there looking for trouble. So definitely it was a good gesture, and it shows also the power of social media. Without somebody, it was just a small clip. Without somebody taking that clip, nobody would have noticed anything. That's the power of technology, the power of the cameras now, and just do your job. Luck only hits you one time. We have one that I don't know what happened to the Kenyan Goliath, the tall guy. There's one Gen Z guy who was a little bit viral. Is it called Gen Z Goliath or something?
Gen Z Goliath. His name is Bradley.
Bradley. He got quite a bit of endorsement here and there. Hopefully, he's able to maintain his money. He was a village boy until somebody just snapped a video of him, and that was it. So, people just keep doing your thing. One day something, like that officer now, his life has changed.
And from Kenya, it's always somebody going viral, right? Before they had the elections guy, the very man who was just eating Belila Hago, and he's just lining up to vote, and then somebody made him famous, and that was it. Okay, well, let's go to Nigeria now, where a man has rebranded his girlfriend. Basically, there's a TikTok video that went viral where the man is seen tattooing his name on the girl's face, and she's sitting calmly, while he finished his tattoo on the girl's face. Somebody is asking, do we tell her about what is happening to her face? I don't know if the girl was actually, and she's sitting calmly, while he finished his tattoo on the girl's face. Somebody is asking, do we tell her about what is happening to her face? I don't know if the girl was actually, and she's sitting calmly, while he finished his tattoo on the girl's face. Somebody is asking, do we tell her about what is happening to her face? I don't know if the girl was actually, and she's sitting calmly, while he finished his tattoo on the girl's face. Somebody is asking, do we tell her about what is happening to her face? I don't know if the girl was actually, and she's sitting calmly, while he finished his tattoo on the girl's face. Somebody is asking, do we tell her about what is happening to her face? I don't know if the girl was actually, and she's sitting calmly, while he finished his tattoo on the girl's face. Somebody is asking, do we tell her about what is happening to her face? I don't know if the girl was actually aware when that was being done. So, Dennis, do you think for this guy to say, girl, de hagi, you actually put your name on the girl's face? How many cows do you think he needs to pay for that?
He needs to pay a lot of cows, and then tattooing your name on somebody's body in general is going to cost you a lot of money. Because you don't know how tomorrow is going to be. Nothing is certain in this world but tax and death, right? So I don't know what this guy has in mind, because you don't own anybody. There is nothing that you can do. A relationship is always both of you has to agree to be together. You cannot force somebody by tattooing yourself or by, there is no any coercion. Love has to be free and it has to be fair, But for you to tattoo your name, whether the person knowing it or not knowing it, I don't think is the right thing to do. You need to capture somebody's heart, because if you capture somebody's heart, regardless of wherever they go, they will always remember you. They will always try to come back to you. But relationship always happen in subconscious. It is not something that happened in physical, that for you to put your name on somebody or try to do something that to pin that person down. You cannot do something like that. So I feel sorry for this lady, whether she knows what is happening to her. If she's in agreement, I don't know what kind of agreement that they have, but I totally condemn tattooing your name on somebody if it is done in a kind of a malicious kind of intention.
Yeah, Madema Mendu Ferik Matan, I know for my grandmom had her, was it Mia Idashara? Right here, and of course,
we have that. My mom has that.
Our people still do the Nuer, the Dinka, the Mundari, they still do. But this girl is actually conscious, because I think Bakumba tattoo, like I've never had a tattoo, so I don't know what it feels. Tamil Ibira, right? So when you're doing the tattoo, you actually feel pain. So if she can feel the pain on her face, for God's sake, why is she still sitting there? Oh, she asked for it and the guy just decided to tattoo his name?
Yeah.
What do you think happened?
I think they definitely 100%. I'm sure they have an agreement. There's no way that even somebody, if somebody is supposed to tattoo even your finger, you can feel the pain because tattoo is a needle. You have to poke your skin to the ink to sink in, right? So it's not like a drawing, like somebody painting. They actually a real poking. They have to cut through the skin. It actually takes time to heal. You actually have to apply some medication on it and things like that. It's not a one-day process. So these are 100% sure this is what they've agreed on. Probably the guy has told her, you know what? Yeah, I need you to show me that this is my promise.
This is forever.
This is forever. Nothing will happen. So the girl is probably people do crazy things in love. People become mad when they love. So she probably doesn't think about tomorrow. But if anything happens, she'll have to cut her head off, I guess.
But let's suppose that they broke up. And you are the new boyfriend. How are you gonna handle this case? Like this lady with the name of the ex-boyfriend on her head.
on her face. Well, she'll have to wear a mask. I don't know.
Maybe wear a mask. Even for somebody even to answer out with somebody's name on the face, I don't think she'll ever find anybody.
No, actually, Dennis, for women it's easy because they can put, we call it meje marotan. They can put makeup on it, right?
The foundation.
It's you and me who don't wear makeup who will have a hard time. She can easily cover.
But she has to shower in exclusion. They cannot go to anywhere, no pool, no anything.
So I have a story. I don't know how. Maybe if it is related. This Fanan, Jimi Hendrix.
Okay.
He's
the original guy.
The Vancouver guy.
The Vancouver boy.
His original name is Johnny.
Okay.
So when he was born, his original name was given as Johnny. But after a year, the father discovered that Johnny is the ex-boyfriend of
of the mother.
Of the mother,
yes. So he decided to change the name of Johnny to Jimmy. So that's how he ended up with Jimi Hendrix. So sometimes things that you do in the previous relationship can affect.
But for this lady, if she dumps the guy and she still has the tattoo, whoever dates her better take her to the swimming pool for the first date.
You need to.
Otherwise you're in trouble.
Unless she has a headgear permanently in and out of the house, maybe shower with the headgear non-stop.
That's very public, really. I know the Mexican gangs and those guys, they do it a lot on their bodies, right? I know people go to all kinds of extent to actually split their tongues and do all kinds of things on their bodies.
But I heard that that tattoo is addictive. Once you start it, you cannot stop. It is something that you will continue to do. That's what I heard. I don't know.
No,
that's
to some people.
To some people, some people they become they become part of like the same way where when those body changing operations, some people who do their they want to change they want to do their change their nose or all these kind of, maybe they want to change their lips and things like that. They never stop. They keep going. So they change one, they move to the next one. They will change their nose, and then they want to change their butts. Maybe they want to Brazilian something they want to build. Like people do crazy things. So it's almost the same with the tattoo. Tattoo is kind of becoming for some people it's the culture. You draw a flower, you draw the next thing, and they want to cover their entire body.
And I don't know how because I know people tattoo all kinds of weird places. I don't know how they can handle the pain, especially when it's around the Garden of Eden. You know the geography around there.
They seem to be able to handle it.
yeah.
Did you have a very wide imagination?
Oh, of course, I'm a writer. I have to have. I have to write. I have my movie scripts and all the novel scripts. So you can't avoid it. It's in my line of duty, unfortunately.
Okay.
Yeah. All right, let's go to Zimbabwe, where a Miss Jelda, member of a church in Zimbabwe, confessed to taking $118.43, 431 rand from the church coffers, citing financial hardship and her mother's illness for her action. So Bridget Jelda, 24-year-old from Bulawayo, Zimbabwe, stole the money, and she was told to bring the money back by the church, and then she suddenly disappeared. And people attempted to contact her, but she was all quiet. Reported to the police, 12 months in jail for that. But she was granted leniency when she, of course, explained to the magistrate what caused her to take the money. It was her mother's illness. So she said she was driven to a desperate choice. She didn't have a choice. And she was remorseful, and she offered to repay the stolen money. So she was given community service. She has to stay crime-free for some time, and then if she pays back the money by November 15th of this year, which is in a couple of days, right? About a week or so from today, she can, forfeit her other time in prison, but otherwise she'll have to languish in jail. I think in this case, it's just because this woman stole the money illegally. If she stole it legally, like the pastor, she could have gone without jail. Dennis.
Yeah, when you were telling this story, I just went back to reflect on the kind of churches we have, the healing-based kind of church. You see, those pastors, when they are sick, they don't wait for healing. They fly to India, they fly to America, they fly wherever they can find good medical attention to attend to them, and when they are healed, they come back. And when members of their congregation is sick, they kind of profess healing on them.
Yeah.
And sometimes those people, they get desperate, and then healing doesn't happen, and a lot of people die in course of those healing process. I have one of my relatives that was in Calgary. He was sick with cancer, and he flew to Nigeria.
Yeah.
That time TB Joshua was still alive.
Yeah.
And he got his calm, and there was a lot of things that happened to him, and he returned back heartbroken, and eventually he died of cancer. So those are people who are making people so desperate. Those churches, they take people's tithes, and they don't do anything when a really problem hits those people. I don't support stealing, but it is something that we look into. What kind of a churches are we having? Is it something that we should maintain? I'm not totally against churches. I believe that miracles happen, but we should have investigation in those kind of churches, because like what you're saying, they're legally stealing money because they're scamming people, poor people, giving them money But when something happened to those people are desperate. They don't have anything to do. And that's the result that those people result into stealing, doing the unthinkable. Yeah.
And in this case, you can see like the money really wasn't that a lot, right? Like $120 basically, and then 400, about 500 rand. That's little money compared to whatever the pastor
is getting
generates in that church. And yet they went hard for her, called in the police and this and that. Never asked like, oh, why did this woman do this? Maybe call her down, talk to her, find out what's going on, right? You just don't, you castigate people for that. People go through all kinds of things. Not,
I don't see that this lady is stealing anything. They're just taking what was there, and they said that offering is for God, right? So who is God? Who is it? God is those who are in need, right? So. Yeah. If she took it and she use it to buy her mom medicine, well and good. Yeah, like the well and good. Because like in a serious note, that church or anybody who is a pastor or running a church, ask yourself what would Jesus have done if Jesus was in that church and she actually took? What would Jesus have done? Jesus would never bother. They probably would bless her and tell her, yes. This is my child, but these guys, because of their greed and everything, they start throwing all kind of stones on this lady, like dragging her to court and things. So that's why most of these churches are just money collecting entities that are not there for spirituality, because there's no theft. I don't see any element of theft there at all. So just taking what belongs to God.
Bakumba, that's the philosophy of Mankush, the comedian from Kenya. He says that God will not use the offertory, so that offertory is all mine. Mankush Dennis is a comedian, but he's also is he a bishop or a pastor?
Yeah. He's a prominent person in the church. But he has an unconventional ways of interpreting the Bible.
This story is from the US, where the parents of a 5-year-old boy were shocked to hear from their son that he used to be a woman named Pam, who died in a fire. The youngster from Ohio, Cincinnati, insists that his name was Pam Robinson, a woman who was killed in a fire in Chicago's Paxton Hotel back in 1993. The boy's mother says the dead woman's name came first when the boy was about 2 years old. He started talking about the mysterious woman. Recalling the incident, the boy's mother's name is Erica. She described how she asked her son who Pam was, and he said he turned to her and said, I used to be, but I died when I died and I went up to heaven. I saw God, and then eventually God pushed me back down and I was a baby and you named me Luke. So this story is kind of fascinating. So reincarnation de bukun haja saole. Dennis.
I heard similar story that happened in India, kind of the same. And all the record kind of a match to the person that has been living there in their previous life.
Okay.
So it got me confused, because I have no any physical evidence or something that I can reference it to. Do I believe in the incarnation? 50-50. I don't know.
Have you had a feeling of deja vu?
I had, those are very close to home to me, like a deja vu. I have innocent that I had dreamed about something and it happened exactly like the way that I had it in the dream. I have thought about something that was going to happen to me and then it happened exactly. Experience with deja vu, I went through a lot of deja vu kind of experience. Our human experience in this world, it requires somebody that is highly in tune. If you have that kind of a high level of sensitivity to the
supernatural,
you can kind of access information that are not accessible to normal people. There are people who are trained into it. There are people who are trained or they put themselves into that position. They train themselves. They can listen. They can understand what is happening in the other part of the world, and then in the spiritual realm, and then the physical realm.
Okay.
Can I say this thing happened? I don't know. Like this child might have this is his second life. I don't know.
Yeah.
But if his story is credible, maybe it is something that we should look into.
Yeah. Bakumba, what do you think?
Yeah, it's an interesting story to look at, but it depends on whoever want to believe in it, right? Like
do you think it's actually credible though?
That's the question. I doubt the credibility of that story. Number one, some things can just be coincidental. You know, he probably read the story of this woman somewhere and have his own imagination of that lady, and maybe they seem to have delusional. It's like a delusional family. They either have some weird spiritual understanding of things. Maybe they have their own. Maybe investigate further. They're probably into some spiritual worship of something, reincarnation. Because there's no relation between this person and the lady who died. It will be a different thing if it was like, it's at least blood relation, family relation. You can say, so and so. You look like your grandfather. Your grandfather used to behave like this. He used to act crazy, and you act crazy. You are like your grandfather. It seems like there's no relation at all, and this reincarnation thing is not proven anywhere. The idea of going to heaven being pushed down, we don't even know where heaven is. So it all depends on people's. It depends on what people want to believe. Actually, the spiritual thing is very, very, very hard to really to really dispute it, because whatever they believe, they're always going to believe it anyway. Yeah. So, but for me, I don't think it's credible. I think it's just like they from the mother to the family, they probably have their own spirituality, religion that they have designed for themselves. They're either following the Hindus' reincarnation theory. They're probably reading so many books that, I mean, sometimes you read things and you start thinking like they're reality. So that's, for me, that's my take. Yeah.
This is when I was still in Kenya. So I wrote up this story. I was in school, I think. And then I put all these names and all that, thinking I was just coming up with those names, right? Yeah. And then I came home, and then one day I was going to see my friend. He now lives in Russia. So I went, and walking towards his house, to their house, I see this sign on the street, and maybe unconsciously I had walked along that path so many times. Right. So all the character names I had in my short story were like up there, right on the signboard. But I had not thought about it.
Yeah. You know, like with people who are musicians, those things are not. It's not new. Like I have heard a lot of stories. Like for people who are writers, like what you are saying, and then people who are musicians. If you guys heard this song "Ambush in the Night" by Bob Marley.
Okay.
Yeah, he said that song came to him when he was sleeping. He was sleeping, and then he heard that song came to him, and after numbers of days, people tried to kill him.
Okay.
Yeah, like that happened in the physical.
In real life, yeah.
In real life, and then the word of the song says that 4 guns aiming at me, ambush in the night, and 4 guns aiming at me. So, how did he access that kind of information, and how did he found out that something was about to happen in his life? You know,
maybe already heard rumors that people are trying to eliminate him.
Yes, and then there are people who also songs come to them in dreams. You know, they wake up in the morning and then they just record the song. So so premonition. So those are difficult things unless you are spiritually tuned. Then you can be able to explain. And then the other thing is the spiritual thing we cannot explain by the physical knowledge that we have. It is just the limitation on our end in the physical world. The spiritual thing can only be explained only by the spiritual thing. And then the physical thing can only be explained by the physical. So the two rounds are related but
distinct.
They cannot be explained in a Like you cannot explain things that are spiritual in the physical realm. It is impossible.
Yeah, you need translators like Bakumba.
Unless he speaks in tongues. Do you speak in tongues?
I speak in tongues sometimes in Kuku, so Kuku is the tongue, right?
Actually, I remember your story of the lady who was speaking in tongues, Bakumba. Her tongues was. Did you say it was in Arabic?
Juba. Yeah, I witnessed that one. I witnessed. So I thought I don't dismiss the idea of that spiritual kind of thing. But I think but the tongue should be a language. Obviously, somebody should be able to understand. It's clearly written. You can't just go there making noise and saying that you're speaking in tongue while it's not a language. So
those are recorded language. They say that when you are speaking in tongues, it is a coded language. Devil will not understand.
Yeah. So they want to confuse Satan.
That's a difficult path to go on because it's always it becomes a personal, right? You can't really dispute
and spirituality is what you believe. Like if you believe that you're waking up in the morning and screaming and making noise and making those tongues in your own language, it makes you happy. For God's sake, continue. Yeah, continue.
Just be careful when you steal the offertory money. You will end up in jail. So that brings us to the end of this episode. Of course, we thank you for watching. We look forward to seeing you again next Sunday, 8 p.m. Don't forget to comment, share, subscribe to our YouTube channel, Yazol TV. And also follow us on YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok. Find links in the description of this video. Tell a friend to tell a friend. Thank you again, Dennis. Thank you, Bakumba, and may God bless South Sudan.
Thank you.
All right, that's it. Yeah.
Yazol. Yazol.